Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Prior to Season 2 going live, I was able to sit on a call with Raven Software and Infinity Ward, of course, the developers of MW2 and Warzone 2, where we got a brief overview of all the changes and whatnot that we should expect for Season 2, but more importantly, we got to learn about some of the major future plans for multiplayer, Warzone 2, and everything in between. And let me tell you, there is some very exciting and interesting stuff in the pipeline for future seasonal updates. So first things first here, as we get into the rundown of all the things that were discussed here, I do want to give a quick thank you to my friends over at Activision, Infinity Ward, and Raven for allowing me to sit in on this call so that I can bring you guys this information right as it drops, because obviously this is stuff you're not going to be able to find out by reading any blogs or any of the official sites. This is all directly from the exclusive group of people who got to sit in on this developer call. So first things first, a lot of players have been asking what is going on with Gunfight. This was a confirmed mode back in like the spring. Where's it at? Why has no one said anything about it? Well, it just so happens that Gunfight was very briefly brought up in our meeting, where the devs said that Season 3 is the targeted date for Gunfight, and apparently we are going to be getting new Gunfight maps every single season after it debuts. So if that's true, Season 3 will bring Gunfight to the game, I would imagine, with 3, 4, maybe 5 maps at launch, and then maybe Season 3 Reloaded brings another Gunfight map, Season 4 brings a couple more Gunfight maps, and that continues to evolve as a mode over time as we continue to see new seasons introduced. So we officially have an answer on Gunfight now. That in and of itself is very exciting. And by the way, as we're going through this stuff, I'm going to be bouncing all around because the topics were very shifty, if you will, multiplayer to Warzone to DMZ. So there's no like direct order here. I'm kind of just running down the notes that I took here. Warzone ranked play. It is in the pipeline. It's going to be coming. They did not give us an exact date, but it is something that is confirmed and is in the works. Obviously, ranked is here with MW2 multiplayer right now, and a pretty cool system in my opinion. And Raven did mention that ranked play is in the works for Warzone 2, and we're finally going to have a ranked mode for Warzone after all this time, and I for one am very excited for that. Portable buy stations were brought up in our Q&A portion of the call, and basically what was said is that they're not something that's going to be coming right now, but it's not a no permanently. So to me, that means that portable buy stations are likely something that's going to happen in a seasonal update in the future, but it's not something we should anticipate here relatively soon, if you will. Also, for what it's worth, you'll notice with several of the topics that I'm talking about in this video, it's a lot of communication. There are some guarantees, obviously, like with Gunfight, for instance, but some of it's like, yes, we're looking into this. No, we're not looking into this. This is a work in progress. Like, for instance, in-game comms in Warzone. That was, of course, something that existed back in Warzone 1, where after the match ended, you could talk to the entire lobby. Now that's no longer an option. They are currently a work in progress, so we could potentially be seeing that feature return so that we'd be able to chat to the rest of the lobby after we get like the end screen cutscene, if you will, when a match comes to a close. Long term, they are trying to do some changes to black sites and strongholds, basically to offer different rewards. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of changes to the loadout system now, making it easier to access your guns with the loadout events, with the prices changing and everything. And the devs are fully aware that strongholds are going to take an attention hit because of that. Obviously, the main point of going for the strongholds or the black sites is the loadout rewards, then I would say like the UAV pings and then the advanced UAV for the black sites. So this is something that's not going to happen right away. With Season 2 Reloaded, they did specify this was a long-term change where they're still going to have certain rewards and certain promises of completing black sites and strongholds that make them worth doing, whereas right now, definitely not necessarily the #1 priority anymore, because it's so easy to get UAVs with the cash increases, or to get your loadouts now with all the changes there. Custom games are something that's going to evolve over time. Hopefully we can start to see custom settings and whatnot. They said this was also a work in progress, and the initial product here for custom games is not going to be the final one, if you will. Also, just a quick reminder as we're going through all this today, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I got you guys covered with all things going on in COD, exclusive intel like this that you won't find anywhere else, the latest news and updates, best class setups, loadouts, all sorts of stuff like that. So if you want to stay up to date, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys are looking forward to seeing these changes implemented in game, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. And also, with Season 2 now officially here, if you are grinding, leveling up the new guns, playing Resurgence, whatever the case may be, do yourself a favor, pick yourself up a pair of Gamer Advantage glasses. From the time that I step into the office to the time that I step out, these glasses are on because they are legitimate game changers. I stand by these and I absolutely love them. They're going to help you focus for longer, reduce your eye strain and your headaches, and also allow you to sleep better at night so you can wake up feeling nice and refreshed, ready to do it all again the next day. They offer prescription and regular lenses, plenty of different colorways and frame options, and if you ever want to get a pair for yourself, throw in code IMMORTAL at checkout and you'll get yourself a nice little discount there. Link for that is going to be down in the description below. Now moving on, the devs also talked a bit about Resurgence. Obviously, we've all been diving into that since the launch of the seasonal update, and you might have noticed by now that if you're winning a lot of games on Resurgence, there's no end-all be-all end game goal like there is with the nuke or the champions quest on Al Mazrah. Nukes are only going to be for standard battle royale on Al Mazrah as of right now. They're not something you can actually earn on Resurgence or on any of the future small maps, at least as of now. That could change in the future, who knows, but for now, just a heads up, there's no point in trying to grind out those wins, you know, if you're looking for that end goal. Of course, go for your wins, grind out those dubs, but don't expect any champions quest for Resurgence currently. Now here's a big one, Plunder. We've all been wondering, where's Plunder? We've seen leaks for it for several months now, especially some recent ones that seemingly indicated that we could potentially be getting it here soon with Season 2. Of course, that's not the case. However, it was sort of teased to us with some very convenient wording in our developer call that Plunder could be something that happens very soon, maybe with the next season, something along those lines. They didn't give us like a hard specific date for it, but Plunder was teased in a way, so personally I'm anticipating that sometime around the launch of Season 3. We'll have to stay tuned for any official updates there as we get much closer to that. Obviously that's a little ways out from now, so it'll be a bit before we hear anything official, I imagine, but Plunder is going to happen, so stay tuned. Of course, a big change with the Season 2 update is the change to backpacks, sort of eliminating the chance to have that third weapon slot in your backpack itself. Raven did mention that yes, that third weapon slot is out of the game currently, but that might not be a permanent thing. They're still adjusting, you know, things in the back end, seeing how it plays out. That's something that could potentially return. Like I said, a lot of things here are just more so the devs addressing things, not always confirming or denying something being added or removed. You know what I'm saying there. A perk like Tempered is also something that's being looked into. So again, not confirmed, but we may see some perk updates further on down the road. They did already confirm they're going to, you know, re-add in some perks later on once they balance things and once they feel the need to adjust the perk pool. So we might see some new additions here as time goes on as well. Another ongoing conversation behind the scenes is the 1 UAV per buy station. Of course, this is sort of a controversial topic. Some players love the fact that there's not a constant UAV spam. Some players are disappointed that they just grinded out, you know, enough cash to get that UAV. They get to the one lone buy station that they can access and somebody already bought it. So that's something they're sort of going to wait and see how things play out with some of the changes that they've already made now to the cash and to the economy to see what things are like then, and they'll make a further decision later on in the future. A big thing with DMZ, we haven't heard much about DMZ here because the main focuses were MW2 multiplayer and especially Warzone 2, but DMZ, a big problem is if your game crashes and you just lose it all right then and there. There's no getting it back. Your body bag doesn't drop for your teammates or anything like that. It's just gone, which sucks. Now, yes, they have addressed a lot of the crashing issues with DMZ, specifically with the Season 2 update. However, a reconnect option is being explored. Now, I don't take this as a confirmation by any means, and I also don't think that this is something where you're going to see anytime soon because it's just simply something that Infinity Ward and Raven are talking about right now. Should we add a reconnect option for DMZ, or can we guarantee that the game is going to be stable enough that players don't have to deal with crashing issues in a way that ruins their entire match and deletes all of their gear? Could there be an option where if a player disconnects, yes, their loot does drop on the ground and their teammates can salvage it, something like that, but they are aware of the request for a reconnect button and it's being looked into. Now here's another very controversial topic: movement. Movement in multiplayer, in Warzone, in DMZ. Everyone either loves the new movement style because it's more realistic or hates the new movement style because it's not slide canceling, it's not fast paced and fluid. And here's what the devs addressed with movement changes. They are not currently in the pipeline, meaning they are not currently looking into changing the movement. Now, just like with some of the other things that we've talked about. They are aware of the requests for movement changes and movement upgrades, and if they see certain internal data, that means that it could potentially change over time, but it's not going to be something that happens anytime soon. They are evaluating how the game plays with the current movement, and obviously they're going to see how Resurgence plays with the changes to Warzone 2's movement compared to Warzone 1. They're going to see how players adjust with things like the redeploy drones with the mid-season update, and over time they'll make more of a final decision with movement. But that's the first official time we've had any kind of comment on movement updates here in Warzone 2 and MW2. I'm sure it's not the news that some of you wanted to hear, but it is a response at the very least, and that I am content with. Then the final thing that was mentioned here is in regards to weapon tuning. It was asked in our Q&A if there were specific, scheduling updates for weapon tuning, like we could guarantee was going to happen at this date, and then this date, and then this date. And the devs basically confirmed that, seasonal updates, mid-season updates are pretty standard for weapon tuning updates and weapon balancing passes. Other than that, though, there's no schedule for weapon tuning. If something is ridiculously broken, there might be an emergency update to buff or nerf that, right? But as it stands right now, weapon tuning is on an as-needed basis, no specific schedule for that. So quite a bit of very interesting details here that we would not have found out about otherwise if it weren't for these dev calls. So again, very thankful, very grateful that I'm able to sit in on these and I can relay this information to you guys. I can relay your feedback to the devs during these as well. So appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to, one, sit in on the call, but two, be in the position first to actually sit in on the call by supporting the channel and everything I do here. So much love for that. But that's gonna wrap things up for this video. If you guys enjoyed, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications so you can always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.